Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here, back again with another video. Today's topic is Chargers, again, and specifically Mike Williams, and whether or not he'll be franchise tagged. At this point in time, I think he will be franchise tagged. I don't think the Chargers are I don't think they're going to want to commit like long term to. Well, I don't want to say that. They possibly could, but the way that the financials are set up and the flexibility that the Chargers have, I don't think that they want to really do anything long term with Mike Williams. At least from the standpoint of a really long, drawn out contract. If they do something long term, I expect them to front load it a lot. Front load the contract, make sure that he is getting all his guaranteed money within the first, you know, 2, 3 seasons or whatever. So I think that is a possibility. At this point, I think the franchise tag works in favor of the team. Obviously the players are not they're not too keen with the franchise tag, but I think it does work in a situation like this because you don't want to let go of Mike Williams. He had a career season last season. He was really opened up. As far as like his route running and stuff. Before he was just a guy that was running the rail routes down the closer to the sideline, going deep, the jump ball guy. But they had him running the entire route tree this year, and he excelled. He was pretty much consistent all throughout the season. I think there's a few times as far as like game planning goes where he wasn't and that was just a few games where he wasn't like a big component to the offense, but for the most part he was you know doing work every single week. And I think the Chargers' success, especially on offense, it really hinges on him being there. So I think you do want to franchise him. Um, just use that, just so you're able to use the other cap space that you have, the other flexibility that you have to be able to get um, some veteran players to cover up some holes that the Chargers have. And I've made several videos on this. I just made one last week about the free agency and what the Chargers need to look for as far as free agents and what they need to do. I went over. There's a lot of holes, offense, defense. They need to upgrade the roster. But there is a lot of talent on the roster, and Mike Williams is a big part of that talent. You want to keep that guy. You want to keep him there, especially for Justin Herbert too. You know, he's a guy that likes to push the ball down the field. And I think Mike Williams is one of the best downfield threats in the league. He's not the fastest guy, but he's extremely limber for how big he is. Very flexible. He makes acrobatic catches. And he can jump out the gym too. He's 6'4", 6'5". He can jump out of the gym. He looks like a basketball player out there in the end zone sometimes. So he can go over and moss guys, and he really is a big part of the Chargers offense. And I think he's a perfect complement to Keenan Allen. I think the Chargers really need to upgrade the tight end position this season. Jared Cook he was okay, but he's a guy, he's been in the league for a while, so I think his age is starting to catch up to him. I think if the Chargers upgrade the tight end position and use some of that cap space that they have, to upgrade that, I think the offense can be unlocked to its full potential. It's really not, and the Chargers, I think they were like top 5 in offense last season. And that's without, a dominant tight end, without a, really, really dominant and consistent running game. They're able to run the ball pretty well when they want to, but just not, they don't do it consistently. But I think this season is different. Especially when you look at a Cincinnati Bengals team with a young quarterback in Joe Burrow. Um, that running game, Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine, the screening game, it took a lot of pressure off of Joe Burrow in certain moments. Everybody knows that he can make the plays when he needs to make them. He can go down the field when he needs to, but having those backs takes a lot of pressure off of you as a quarterback. Having a solid run game takes a lot of pressure off you as a quarterback. It you know brings the defense up. Makes them a little bit more aggressive. They bring in more guys, so it's a line of scrimmage. The play action game opens up, and then you can take your shots downfield. So, I think the Chargers have to, and it's a copycat league, man. You make your adjustments, and it's not copying everything that one team does, but it's a copycat league from the standpoint of scheme and how you run your offense, what the things you do on defense. It's a copycat league. You can copy that formula. It was good enough for the Bengals to get to the Super Bowl, and I think there's a lot of people would say that the Chargers have a way more talented roster than the Bengals do. Just looking at it from top to bottom. So the potential is there. It's just plugging in the gaps that need to be plugged in, and really paying attention to the cap, and utilizing the money that is freed up. Really using it to its potential. Staying away from the bad signings, stay away from the splash signings, the sexy signings that everybody wants to see, and plug holes in. And I think Mike Williams is a guy. He really does alleviate a lot of pressure off of the quarterback. He presents a big target. He has good hands, and with this new offensive system, we have seen that he can be consistent. He can run all the routes. He can do everything that you ask him to do. And he's a quiet guy too. He's not an attention-seeking dude. He's not a diva. You never hear him having any tantrums or throwing trash cans or doing whatever on the sidelines. He's a pretty incognito star player, and that fits in perfect with the Herbert offense. It fits in perfect with the Chargers mentality, and I think they really want to keep him, and they should keep him, because if you don't tag him, and if you fail to get that long-term deal with him, he's going to get signed as soon as free agency opens up. There's a lot of teams that are looking for a Mike Williams type receiver. There is a lot of teams who might look for him, and the biggest thing, one of my worst nightmares as a Chargers fan is, letting this guy out in the open market and having the Chiefs sign him, because that's what they would do. They would allocate their resources to sign him, the Mike Williams, because that would be something else. Him, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce, the big body receiver. That's what they're missing. So yeah, I definitely don't want to see. You definitely don't want to see that. You don't want to see this guy with the Chiefs. But I think that they should franchise tag him right now, just so they can alleviate that stress of him hitting the open market, because you don't want that. You really don't want him to hit the open market. He's too talented. He's asked, and he still has more potential too. He's still getting better. He's gotten better every single season that he's been in the league, so he's still going to continue to get better. He works hard, and you don't want him out there on the open market, because somebody will snatch him up quickly. So should the Chargers tag him? Yes, they should. Hopefully they can work something out long term with him. But for the meantime, you got to tag him, because you got to put all your chips towards the middle of the table next season. So and try to be the best team that you can, and try to put the best guys around Justin Herbert. And I think Mike Williams is a guy who has chemistry with him now, and taking him away from Herbert would be detrimental. So we'll see what happens going forward, though. But yes, the Chargers should tag Mike Williams. They should. Let me know in the comments what you think. If the Chargers should tag him, if they should you know, work something out with him long term, or if they should just let him walk and try to sign somebody else, which I don't think is the right choice. But you know, everybody has a different opinion. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys later.